Hey guys, Jen here, back with more fresh hell. Wanted to just make a brief comment about the passing of Lindsey Graham because the internet, as usual, has exploded into the camps of some people maybe going a little bit beyond and doing a little bit of tap dancing, and others demanding that everybody should be respectful. Um, we saw this with Charlie Kirk when he was killed as well. Uh, I had a situation years ago where went into business with this other woman, and we got into it. And the more time went by, I figured out that she was a complete narcissist. I found out all kinds of things about her past that she had lied about, such as she had been through 4 marriages by the age of 32. At the time we were in business, she was 40. She claimed that after she'd had her daughter, she had gone back to school and gotten this degree. That never happened. Basically, I found out that she had just been leeching off of other people, and she was showing similar tendencies in the business as well. And so, when the thing happened that just really brought it home to me, how unconcerned she was with uh, being fair or not taking advantage of other people. Um, I just I had a feeling, and I went down to the bank and I took her name off the signature card. Um, and sure enough, a couple of days later, she tried to go down there and help herself to the money on deposit for paying our payroll taxes, and that was the end of the business. And of course, being a narcissist, she tried all kinds of things to get back at me. She was very vindictive. Um, but I did not engage with her any further after that. We just kind of went our separate ways. Well, after the business split up, she then married again. So this was number 5. She left that guy with $225,000 of debt. Um, and then the next thing I knew is this would have been about 10 years after we parted ways. I found out that she had glioblastoma, which is a very aggressive form of brain cancer. People who most people who get it don't survive beyond 18 months, and that was the strangest feeling when I found that out, because I had never wished her well, but I'd also never wished her dead. For one thing, it doesn't make sense to me to wish death on anybody as a punishment, because it's not really a punishment if everybody has to experience it, right? It's just life. Death is part of it. Um, but I felt very weird about it because I couldn't feel bad about the fact that I mean, I had several thoughts. I felt really bad for her daughter and her grandkids. I knew it was going to be hard on them. Um, I knew that it's kind of tragic for somebody to have a terminal illness at age 50. That's pretty young. But beyond that, I couldn't help but think, she's got this terminal illness. She's probably going to be gone within a year and a half. And what that means is there's probably 3 or 4 other people out there, strangers that I will never meet, who she will not financially abuse if she was to live for another 20 years. And so I couldn't really feel bad about it. I mean, it's not something I'd ever wished for. I never wished that on her. But I also felt a little bit guilty about this idea of not really feeling bad about what was going to happen. But I just knew, I mean, if she had another 20 years, that would be the result of it. And so I couldn't wish that on those strangers that I would never meet that would end up being victimized by her. And so, you got to take people's reactions on things like this with a grain of salt. I mean, sometimes people, yeah, do go a bit beyond and say, yeah, I'm glad that so and so died or whatever. Um, but you can't force people to show respect to people who didn't earn it. And just because they're gone now doesn't make them worthy of it. I mean, you earn respect with what you do in your life, and unfortunately for Lindsey Graham, the last 10 years of his life, he didn't earn any respect. I mean, he was such a toady to Trump, and the just really backed him up, even though he saw the kinds of things he was doing that an earlier version of Lindsey Graham, the Lindsey Graham that was friends with John McCain, probably would not have found acceptable. And yet he was there with him the whole way. And so you really can't blame people for not mourning his passing, because he he actually did a lot of damage by being somebody who formerly had been a really reasonable person, just suddenly capitulating and saying, yeah, I'm okay with, you know, a president doing whatever he wants, whether it's within the law or not. And I'll back him up 100%, even watching that going on. So, um, that's how I feel about it. I feel like whatever legacy he might have had, he kind of destroyed in the last 10 years of his life. And that's unfortunate, but it should be kind of a warning to us all that you're not necessarily going to be remembered for the good you did if you turn over to the wrong side and or start doing things that are just out of character with who you've always claimed to be. And that's the final impression that people have of you. I mean, you've got a better chance of going the other way, being a really rotten person, reforming yourself, and doing good from then until the end of your life. You're more likely to be remembered fondly for that, even if you were just a real rotter when you were young or previously in your life. So you got to give people some slack on this. I mean, people have good reasons to be upset with the way he chose to live out his final years. So that's all I got on that. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.